This is a unboxing and initial review of a knife called a KaDaa. It's a ceramic knife I just got. You know, I'm looking on here for the name now that I look at it. I knew it was all over. It's on the blade, but it just says ceramic knives, high pure, superfine, high quality, high-tech product. It's written on the barcode. It's written on the knife blade. I'll show you in a minute. Then it's written here. It says high-tech product, ceramic knife. Let's see. I don't see where it says KaDaa on here, which is the name of the knife. One of the things I'm going to show you right off the bat is because of how I received the knife. I haven't done anything with it, haven't cut anything with it or anything yet. Is that the knife was kind of sticking out of the package, and that's because of their packaging, which is a little dangerous. So I'm going to show you this like it was riding around in a box from Amazon. Is if you shake it a little, you can see that the blade is coming out there, and it will very easily arrive to you like this, which is how mine arrived. So I would say that they might want to reconsider some of their packaging, because it just slides right out of there. So plain box. The box mainly says this knife is good for health. It's very clean. It's in vogue, and I'll show you about that in a minute. And it's got quality, and it's sharp. And that's about it. I don't think there's anything else in here. It's a very good looking knife. Comes with a little plastic sleeve on the blade, which you're going to definitely want to keep, because it doesn't come with a got some fingerprints on it. It doesn't come with a hard plastic blade cover. I like the red. I'm a guy that likes red color, so red's my favorite color. So the handle really looks nice to me. It's kind of got a translucent kind of silicone overlay over something. It almost looks like a stainless steel. I imagine it could be a hard plastic. I don't know if it's. I don't think it's not stainless, but aluminum. It looks like a silicone overlay over aluminum, but I imagine it's a hard silvery plastic that's got a kind of a silicone overlay on it. It gives you a nice tactile feel, and these little grip nubs really grab you pretty good. It's got a hollow ground blade on it, and it's very shiny. Let me see if I can wipe this thing off and get the fingerprints off of it here. It's a good looking knife. I'm going to try to keep from cutting my hand here. And there's the logo. Here's the blade. Other side's just plain. So I'm going to do some cutting with it here, and then we're going to put it in hand it to my wife and see if she can destroy it in the kitchen, because she's good at doing that to knife blades. She's got this chop thing, because you see it on TV instead of the slicing motion. She's chop, 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 chop. So I'll be curious to see how long the ceramic blade lasts. So I'm going to do some cutting with it. I did this a few minutes ago when I opened it up. I was surprised how well it did, because I didn't expect it to push cut. You know, there's a couple of different types of cuts, two that I know of really. One is you slice something by drawing, and this is pretty easy paper to do that to. So that's not a problem. But the other one is to just take and push cut. Now this is kind of like, this is off a notepad. It would be very similar to printer paper or copier paper. So I'm going to kind of get it started, and then I'm going to try not to slice much on it. Just going to try to push. These knives, The thing about ceramic knives is that they're mainly drawers. Get it started. See, they're not great push cutters. This one was doing better than I thought a while ago. There we go. But it's not a great push cutter. And that was kind of what I expected. I have a little bit, let's see what I got here. Here's a Dennis Kirk catalog, motorcycle catalog, which I don't have any newsprint, but this has got kind of catalog-y pages in it, which usually present a little harder cut for things. You'll see it really doesn't want to cut that easily. So let me show you an example of a easy push cut, which is this Enduro 189. Now, that ain't doing great either, but let's see. That's more like a push cut, where you can just push straight onto something like that and it'll slice it up. I'm going to compare this knife to another knife which I haven't used and is brand new, and it's an older knife, but I got it from my mother and she was afraid to use them because she thought she would break them. So this is the knife I'm going to also sort of put it up against and have my wife use both of them and just see how they slice and how they work out. This is a ceramic knife. This is let's see if they have the label on this thing. I don't think they do. Here we go. You can see this is a Kyocera, and this was back quite a while ago when they were you really seeing ceramic knives come out. I bought this set for my mother, and she didn't want to mess with it, so I'll bet you this one pushes cuts better. But we'll see here. So let me tell you why I think this one's going to push cut a little better than that one. Let's try this one again. Doesn't want to, it's tearing. So let me do this one again. A little bit. There. Kind of snagged a little bit there. Is if I measure these, I took a caliper. I'm not going to do it again. I took a caliper, and the Kyocera right at the edge bevel, is 0.37 millimeters, and the KaDaa is 0.59 millimeters. Quite a bit of difference, 0.37 to 0.59, and so this is a heavier, you can't really appreciate it by looking at it because they both are pretty thin. They're, a third to a half a millimeter. So you got a third of a millimeter here, a little over a third of a millimeter, and here a little over half a millimeter edge width, right at the bevel, sharpening bevel. So, so I think that's why this one doesn't want to push cut as much, because you've just got a lot more edge going through there. It could be a function of the edge too, but yeah, I don't think so, other than feeling, maybe a little thinner. We'll do some, I don't have much to slice here, but I'll slice a few things up. And then I'm going to let my wife run with these for a couple of weeks in the kitchen. And then we're going to, come back and we're going to look at these edges, see if I can get it, and see if my wife's got them all chipped up and how long they last. And this may be where the KaDaa has an advantage in the kitchen, is because I expect my wife to have some problems because she's chipping up VG10 knives right now. That these things, the thicker KaDaa may outlast the Kyocera. We'll see how she does. I keep trying to train her to change her chopping technique, but I guess she watches too much Rachel Ray, because she hammers them on the board. These things will only be used on a wood, end grain wood board, a first-class board, and that's all they'll cut on. Except for today's cutting thing, which is cutting demonstration, which is going to be on a piece of plastic. So let's put this down. So I don't have much to cut, but I do have some of these nice fat grapes here. So here's a grape, and here's the KaDaa. I'm doing this through a viewfinder on a camera. They do like a little push through when you want to roll them in. So that that one's good. So I mean, just you want to have a little rolling action with the cut. And here is our friend the Kyocera. And let me tell you, this thing is really slicing. Let's do that again with the KaDaa. My wife will be happy I'm letting these things loose because they're both cutting well, but that thin edge on the Kyocera seems to be less effort, and a couple of these little slices I'm kind of slipping off. I'm kind of slipping off a little bit, and it's not perfectly biting in. I hadn't had anything to eat today, so I'll eat these as I go along. Let me try this again. Man, I'm going to tell you, this Kyocera, right now I'm going to give the edge to the Kyocera on just ease of, man, just making super thin slices. And not slipping. And just slicing through. That could be a function of the fact this one's 0.37 millimeters and this one is 0.59. Let's try one more thing. Not going to go much longer, and then I'll come back in a number of weeks and do just a wrap up of how these things did. There's a onion from this weekend. So now this KaDaa, let me tell you about this. Is the guy, because I review knives, the people who sell this on Amazon sent me this knife and asked me to review this knife. So I did not buy this knife, it was sent to me. And I told him I would give him an honest appraisal of the knife. I do like the way it feels. It is well balanced in the hand and feels great. It's also a very good looking knife, and the fact that red is my favorite color does not hurt. So let's see how this does. Okay, so slice. Now this is going to be a little bigger slices. You definitely tell you're cutting a little something there. Look at how much effort it's taken me to get through here. So, and the only reason why I'm comparing these two is because I just happen to have this Kyocera. It was my mother's. I asked her to send it to me when the guy was sending me this KaDaa. I said, "Why don't you send me that Kyocera that you're afraid to use?" My mother will be watching this, so she'll probably get a kick out of that. Let's see. I would say there's a slightly smaller effort to slicing with this Kyocera. There is. The Kyocera is easier, and I'm sure that's, they both slice very well. This one slices well too. The Kyocera is a little easier cut. And that's going to be a function of the fact, yeah, definitely, just like on a grape. That's going to be a function of the fact that you're pushing a lot less blade through there. And it's a hollow ground. I don't know if I'd call that hollow ground. It looks hollow ground, but I sure don't feel it. Usually a hollow ground a lot of times will help you cutting especially small things. I really am not appreciating that. This has definitely got a hollow grind on it. But it also, I guess I should measure, let's measure the back of the blade. Because as you're pushing through something, you've got to go through the whole blade. And let me see what this Kyocera is. So the Kyocera on the back of the blade is 1.83 millimeters. So it's 0.37 on the front leading edge, and the back is whatever I said it was, 1.83 millimeters. And the, about the same here. And the KaDaa is whatever that is, 1.86. So there's no appreciable difference at the tail of the blade, and the Kyocera is wider. So conceivably, it should be harder to cut with this in some respects. But because, and the other thing is, I don't know if the angle geometry on this thing, but one of the things about the geometry on this thing is that we know that number one, it is a, looks like it's got some type of little hollow on there. I can't appreciate it with my finger though. You can see it. It's got a, looks almost hollow ground. Maybe it's just they changed the angle. They didn't change it much. It's very slight. You can see it more than feel it. But I guess it's that 0.37 that slices through here. Because it does slice just a little bit easier than the KaDaa does. Yeah, it is. There's less effort going through something. I bet my wife's going to be upset that I ruined this onion. Interesting though, I'm not getting a lot of tears off of this, so that's good. One nice thing about using these ceramic blades, especially if you're cutting fruit, is that it's not supposed to. You don't get any metal reaction with any of the acids or anything in the fruit, so your fruit doesn't discolor. And a lot of things that you may want to keep pretty for presentation, it's good to cut them with these ceramic knives. So right now, here's my initial feelings about this KaDaa knife. I'm at 17 minutes. I need to wrap this up. Is that it's a great looking knife. It's got a nice handle on it. Feels great in your hand. The Kyocera is a little thinner handle. It's also got a lot of flashing, where mold flashing. It kind of catches on your fingers. The handle feels cheap to me. It has no grip things up here. You can ride your finger up against it like a chef's knife. Just like on both of them, I guess. This one kind of, you got to be careful because you'd run over there and you're allowed to cut yourself. This is a little deeper knife, so you got more to stop you. Both of them can be chopped like this, like that. This one's got nice nibs to grab hold of. The black blade's kind of a high-tech Vogue look. That's the Vogue on the label, in Vogue. It's beautiful red silicone finished handle with a very attractive black blade, so I think that's the part on the label that says it's Vogue. It's very nice to grab like this in a pincher right there and put your finger on the top, to do this kind of stuff or some fine slicing or some chopping where you want control of the blade. All that being said, I'm going to loose my wife with these. And so it might be a month or so, or a month, 6 weeks or something. I don't know, however long I think it takes before she gives me an idea. I'm not going to tell her anything about what I found in this video, what I've observed. And we'll just see what she has to say about chopping with these knives and which one she likes better. And also, not only which one she likes better, but I wanted to give me an appraisal of this one because I told the people they sent me the knife that I would do that. So it's quite possible this knife could last longer with her because it's got a thicker leading edge on the blade by 0.2 something millimeters. So feel free to give me any feedback or questions. Knife reviews, I just do what I can do. That's all I can do is what I have an eye to do. I'm no professional knife guy, but I do play around with a lot of them. So and these guys were nice enough to send me this one. But thanks for watching, and feel free to ask questions and give me any feedback. Thank you.